Hello, welcome to Breakaway with Dawn and Friends. Today I have a special treat. I have two of my oldest friends today, Miss Ellie and Robin. As you can see, we already got started talking and laughing, and I'm excited to share with you our journey. I thought it would be fun. We've been friends for about almost 30 years. And, true friendships, you don't talk every day, but when you do talk, it's like you never stopped. And so I wanted to share this beautiful relationship with the world. Hi, girls.
Hi.
Hello.
So Ellie and
I have one question really
go
quick.
ahead.
It's sorry to interrupt already, but this little purple thing on the app, is that a mute button if I need to? My dog is barking a lot and I don't want it to interfere with
Yes.
our podcast, so I can press
Yes.
that and it'll mute me?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
And it'll
excuse
mute
me
you.
for just a minute, ladies. I'll be right back.
This is raw life here, okay? This
Is it
is
muted?
mom life. No, no, it's not mute. Sorry.
Oh my God.
There you go. You're good.
Oh,
No,
no?
you were
Wait.
muted. You were muted. There you go. You're good. This is hilarious. Okay, so that's Robin, the youngest one. And then Miss Ellie is a little tad older than me. So I'm the middle. Oh my God, I'm the middle. Anyways.
Barely, though.
Yes. So I say that because I do talk a lot about that, Ellie, about being the middle child and how I have middle child syndrome. So I find it hilarious that in this friendship, I am the middle. Anyways.
And let's clarify that we're your oldest friends, but not in the sense of like age-wise.
Yes, thank you. Yes. We go back, but that's why I said we go back about 30 years. So yes, they're not old.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay.
Okay. So I do want to say though, just to give them a little more about us, we are so different in so many ways. And Ellie and I have been best friends for many years when I was a teenager and into my adulthood. And Robin and I think, got closer later in life. And, yes. And we are more in contact recently, but it's just
Should I be jealous?
No.
You got to get in on the action.
Nope.
We miss you.
But it's just, yes, we do. Yes.
We always talk about you. Dawn always invites me to her gathering.
Behind my back?
I always ask about you, and she always says, I invited her, but she didn't reply, or she said she couldn't go.
Yeah, air quotes. Invited.
Okay.
I text her. She don't respond or have text. I don't know what she does, but you'll find out, I'm sure, through this conversation how different we are, but we bond and love each other. And I feel like we're all like onions and there's many layers to us. So I definitely connect to each one differently. And so I thought the reason why I wanted to do this, because Robin and I always talk about life and things. And it was funny that she pointed out that she thought that Ellie and I always had a special bond. And, but she had her own relationship with Ellie. And then, and obviously I had mine with Robin. So I just thought it was interesting, like how you view things and how you thought of things. So I just thought it'd be fun if we just, have this fun conversation. So thank you, ladies, for joining.
Yes, thank you for inviting us.
Yes.
Thank you.
So should we, Robin, I think you should start with a question first.
Okay. So I have lived in that neighborhood. I was born and raised in my house, actually. And I've lived there my entire life. And it was during a period of time where we all met each other, where we grew up. But it was during a period of time where kids got to just be outside, be free, be outside, no supervision. You check in with your folks every now and then. And summertime, it was great. And so there were like some kids before I met you guys. We had a really cool guy up the street with a sister named Stevie. I don't know if you guys ever met him. No? Okay. And then there was Nick, so I knew Nick and Will up the street, and Rachel. We were like the OGs of that neighborhood. And then, but Ellie, so when did you move in? Did you always live over there too? Or did you? Okay.
Yes. Now, do you remember Diane and
Oh,
Michael and
that's
Carolyn?
right.
That's our connection. That's how we met.
Okay, so I'm trying to think.
You remember something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Diane and Micah. I didn't even think about them. Okay, so Stephanie.
Micah. You used
Yeah,
to
Michael.
date
Yes.
Micah.
Yeah, but I was talking about Diane's brother
Okay.
Michael and her sister Carolyn. Diane was like my best friend, and then we had a falling out. But I think Diane met Robin and Rachel and started bringing them around to our block, and I think that's how I met
That's
them.
right. Okay, so
Ah.
Stephanie lived across the street from me. Originally, that house
Yeah.
right there, the corner house, that was all one big lot. And when they moved, they made it into 2 lots. And then Stephanie moved in over there. And so then I want,
Could you remember the guy that lived behind?
yes, with the boa constrictor. That
I don't know about the boa, but remember he had a red classic car, and he was like, he didn't have any kids, but all the kids would hang out with him.
okay.
Do you remember?
Oh, okay. This is
No.
Chester.
no.
Was
You're
it
talking about
Chester?
Lester.
Oh
Lester
God,
the
what a
molester.
name.
Yes, there we go.
And Stephanie used to hate. I remember Stephanie and Rachel used to hate on them because his wife was like really nice, and she used to give me like things that belonged to her because I was thin, you know, and they used to hate on me that like they liked me so much more than them back in the day. I remember that. It was silly, stupid stuff. Like just for a minute, you know how kids are, they tease each other and stuff. But yeah, Lester, he lived in the corner house, but behind Stephanie, there was a man. He was really, really nice, and he'd come out and he had this big boa constrictor snake. Okay, and I was really into, you know, creatures and nature and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh my God, your snake is so cool. Can I hold it? And so he was really nice. He used to let me take his snake. Like it happened like 2 or 3 times. He would let me take his snake and go outside and just hang out with it with all the kids without even watching me with the snake. And I'd be outside, but my dad and Marcy did not like it because the guy was a porn star and used to use the snake in his videos.
Oh
and so my
my.
dad and her would tell me like, you need to go give him back his snake. You can't be touching it, you know. This sounds so dirty.
Don't
Don't
touch the
touch
porn
the
star's
porn
snake.
snake, right? And I'd be like, why? The snake is so cool. Like, why? You know. So that's how I remember living behind Stephanie. And then there was Lester. And so yeah, okay. So that's right. Diane started coming around us, and then we ended up meeting you. But wasn't there like some drama, Ellie? Like that they were trying to pin us against like that we didn't like somebody, or it was you and Diane? No, you guys were feud.
You know what?
I remember.
Diane dated Micah first, I think.
Oh.
And then they broke up.
Oh. Okay.
And then I think him and I started dating. But I think there was drama before that. And then, like, yeah, she used to be my best friend, and then she ended up moving after all that drama
Okay,
happened.
I remember, Ellie. I remember what it was. So, yeah, we ended up meeting you, and you ended up becoming our friend. But then it was like you would talk shit about Diane, and then Diane would come and talk shit about you over fucking Micah. And goofy ass Micah with his red hair. Remember Micah?
Yes,
Oh my God. And so that's right. So then we became friends with Ellie. Like we got real tight with Ellie. And then Diane was related to Chastity too, though, right? Remember, do you guys?
I don't think were they cousins?
No, I don't know.
I remember Chastity because I went to elementary school.
You did? With the little hot short shorts?
Well, it wasn't like that back then.
Oh, I remember those little jean shorts. Oh yeah, I'm sure everybody did.
So I'm quiet because this was before my time.
Okay.
Of course I knew Micah, but I don't know any of the people you're talking about.
Okay, so then when does Dawn come in? So then we meet Micah, and we meet you, and we meet Diane, and then it's Rachel, Stephanie, me, and then what happens after that? When does Dawn come into the picture? Okay, so Dawn, at that point, you were in.
Her family lived next door to me. Remember in the apartment?
With your cousins.
Yes.
Noe and Chachi.
And she must have met Caesar.
Yes.
Did you meet Caesar before? Did you meet Caesar before you met us, Dawn?
God, I don't know. Probably because he literally shared walls with my family.
Yeah.
So like my uncle, my favorite uncle that I talk about here and there, he lived there with my cousins, and then
who's your favorite uncle?
Indio, of course.
Okay.
I remember Indio. He was cool.
Oh yeah, because you knew more than one, right? Because Sal was there too, but he's more like a damn.
Wait, Sal was the guy that lived in front of Ellie?
No, that was Alex. Remember, my sister dated Sal.
Okay.
Yes.
For a hot minute.
Wow, that's funny.
And then, so my grandmother lived there. Um, so it was my grandmother, my uncle. I think there was only two of them that lived there. So since the matriarch of our family lived there, we were there a lot. So that's what brought us to the Cartwright Street.
And then in that building, you
So,
also had Philip and Eric, Cuban,
Oh yeah.
yes,
Philip and Eric. Remember?
yes,
Remember their and they had a sister too. Remember their
Oh,
little sister?
yes.
what was,
Eric,
I
was it
forget
oh
her
my
name
God,
though.
not
what was
Eric?
it, guys?
I
Not
don't know.
Eric?
It wasn't
No,
Penelope. It was
you know, way off.
oh,
Remember their dad Ray?
Yes, I
I don't
remember
remember the
Ray.
dad.
Yes, you don't.
No.
Oh, girl, he was the
Remember, weren't they
Yeah, they were
Cuban?
Cuban. God, what was
yes.
the
Wasn't Ray
little girl's
Cuban?
name? I remember her. They used to make fun of her and mess with her so bad because,
She
and
had
she
rotten
was really
teeth.
hairy. And so they would always tease her. Not to be mean, I don't want to, little girl, God bless her. She can't help that she's got hair everywhere, but man, but she was tough. She would talk shit back to them. Like,
You have to with two
right?
brothers,
I
right?
know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And then Ricardo,
Wow.
Marisano, right? And Renee.
Oh, Renee and his brother. What was his brother's name? Yeah,
Mariano, not
Mariano.
Marisano.
Oh, remember
Oh, girl, that
Marisol
comes. Okay.
that
Oh,
moved into
yeah.
that corner building?
I do. That comes later in the story, Miss Marisol.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yes, it does because they shared can I Robin and
No, not
Marisol.
me. No, not me. No, it was
Oh,
Stephanie.
She did, I
No,
did.
but I came with Ivan way later. That's like we're jumping way ahead of the
Yeah,
story. No, the drama,
yes.
and then we could get into the Marisol. The drama about Marisol that comes later. She was like a later kid that moved into the neighborhood and took the.
yeah,
So
a
I don't know
rival.
if you guys know the drama I had with her later, because so okay, so I was 15 when I started to hang out with you guys.
Okay.
And so when I was about like, I was already in my own apartment, 18, 19. We were still hanging out, Marisol. And I had drama
Oh,
with
you
her.
did too?
I did, but not like, I didn't like, she got up. I mean, I can tell you
It
the
doesn't
story,
matter.
but we never talked after that again. But we do follow each other on social media.
That's so funny.
And, we, and her mom follows me and stuff. So, but I mean, yeah, that was interesting.
Okay.
So, we ended up falling out.
Okay, so do you guys want to talk about Marisol already, or should we get to the beginning? Let's mention all the other people.
So now, but remember, guys, the world hears this episode.
Oh, I wasn't
okay?
gonna say
'Cause I
nothing
am
bad
worldwide.
at all.
No. I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
You're
I am
kids.
worldwide. So make sure whatever you're saying, you're willing to say it in
Oh,
their
of course.
face.
I don't have nothing to say. Shit, I wasn't the one with the beef. No,
I'm
I
being
just
funny.
remember what happened.
I'm being funny. I'm
Do
being
you guys
funny.
remember Raina
Oh, Raina,
and all the drama that
Yes.
happened when she came into our lives?
Yes.
Raina,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So there
Yes.
was Raina, and her grandmother died recently. Carol, you guys remember Carol from the
Oh,
neighborhood? Yeah,
Yeah.
God bless her.
yes.
Yeah, I had known her my whole life.
She was still living
Yep,
there?
she was next door neighbors with my father. And she
Wow.
finally passed.
What about, was it Monica?
Monique.
Monique.
You
Oh yeah.
have to remember Monique. Oh my God. And Nadia, her mom,
Yeah.
Nadia. Yeah, Monique was always nice. Then we can't.
So can
Oh,
I say,
and Hugo and Eric
Mikey,
and
Christian,
Renee
yeah,
and Juan.
Renee, Juan,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mikey.
Christian, Brian,
Mikey, we still
Hugo,
see
Mikey, yeah,
Yeah.
Mikey's still my friends.
But
I'm still friends with Brian too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, so can I say, I'm so bad to say this, but like Monique has tried in the past to like reach out and be friends, and I couldn't do it.
Really?
Couldn't
God,
do it. And she would be like, "Why are you ignoring me?" Like, yeah. So she dated one or both brothers. I don't know, But I don't know if you guys
Your
can.
brothers?
Robert, I
What?
think Robert. Oh my
Fucking
God.
Robert.
Yeah, girl.
Fucking Robert.
I swear to God, he's old. I know.
Well, but he was one of the better looking boys in the neighborhood, but everybody knew he was trouble, Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know how you guys like, but because I don't think we talk a lot either about like deep shit, but there's certain things about my childhood that I'm not like happy about or whatever, right? I have resentment or whatever. Certain people tie you back to that time period.
Yeah.
So, like, I associated her for, and I'm sorry if you ever listen to this, Monique, it's not your fault, but I couldn't go there with her because, like, I had to cut ties with certain people and certain things, and because I didn't want to be reminded of
Yeah.
certain things. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, so I felt so bad because she wanted to be friends, and I just can't do it, and I don't really feel I was ever friends with the girl anyways, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
because I'm a very guarded person
I don't
anyways.
think any
So
of us were ever
uh
tight with her. I don't really remember her like coming and hanging out on the block like with all of us. It was just we knew her. She
she
lived.
tried, we didn't have it, we wouldn't give her time of
Really? Is
day.
that what that
So
was? I never even knew she dated those guys either. That damn. See, well, that just shows you. And I thought I knew everything. That was. I mean, we would back in back
she
in that
dated.
time. For any listener who's listening, I just have to say this: it was a different time than today. Now I have two children. I would never just allow my children to go in my front yard and be gone during the summer, going wherever they're going, for like 5 hours and then come check in. Oh, hey, mom. Like when I think about my life now with the way the system is compared to how my dad had it. My father was a single father. My mother died when I was 4. And so I was raised by my father, and sometimes I have a girlfriend, sometimes not. And I remember I got to go to public school. My dad would go drop me off for 8 hours. I'd get out of school and, all right, hi, Dad, love you. I'm going to go outside. I'd be outside with you guys
Mm-hmm.
all day. And my dad was overprotective
Mm-hmm.
and sheltered me, so I'd have to check in constantly compared to everybody else
Mm-hmm.
who, the parents are like, man, go
But
ahead, you
girl,
can go.
But we're also a few
Yes,
years
that
older
is
than you,
true.
Robin.
yes,
That's
that's
true.
true. That
Right.
is true. But no, girl, your dad was not worse than mine. So I lived on Lancashire and Burbank, more or
Mm-hmm.
less. I had to walk, sorry, Oxnard. I had to walk from Oxnard and, Burbank, right? Burbank, Lancashire, whatever, all the way down to Cartwright and Burbank,
Oof.
right? To even get to you
Yeah.
guys. And then,
Yeah.
like 2, 3 hours later, I would have to walk back, show my
No,
face
no, I didn't
all
know
the way
that.
back. Okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember doing some of those
I
walks
didn't
with you.
know
I
that.
know. Oh my God. Yes, girl. So no, let's not talk about. So yes, I grew up the same way you did, but my dad would scrutinize and
Well,
make me
that's
check
good though,
in and
That's
oh
good. Well, I mean, not the
yeah,
walking
yeah.
part, but
No, it was. Don't get me wrong, but so no. Your dad was more free. To me, your dad was a
yes, yeah.
hippie-ish, very free
Ahead of his
spirit, into
time.
the natural.
Ahead of his time.
Yes,
It's like
it,
totally on trend now, everything that he is. But back then, it was so different.
exactly. Yes. It was so different. I just remember like thinking mad
Yeah.
scientist is what even at that age. Like I'm like, he's like a mad
Yes.
scientist. I just remember the ants. Like, and he loved that. He loved having that trail of
Oh, he
ants. I don't
always
know what
had
he did with it.
ants.
What?
Well,
Yes.
yeah. I swear that
Yes.
that
And he
neighborhood
loved
is
it.
built on like an ant hive or something. Oh, hi, baby.
You don't remember that, Ali? Oh my, yes. I remember the ants. And he loved it. He encouraged it and allowed it. And I just remember the ants. But um Ellie, like what would I say? Like Ellie, you were more oh God, what's the word? You were very studious. I remember that. But you were a little more free, like I think because yeah,
I'm making a face.
I liked Ellie immediately when I
I
met
said I'm
her.
making a
I
face
I,
because
I clung to Ellie like right away. I remember I used to always bother Ellie because I always wanted to hang out with her.
Robin was like the little
Yes,
sister I never
exactly.
had.
Uh-huh.
and I'm the sister she
Oh, is
never
that
wanted.
true?
And I know that and I accept it. I don't care. So it was funny because she's like, "Oh, you and Ellie had a special bond." I'm like, "We did." I annoyed the fuck out of her.
No,
I was like, I was more annoying to Ellie than any, because I was clingy. Like I
me
relied on
too.
Ellie a lot in many ways.
Me
Yeah.
too.
So no, I felt she was mean to me. And you're like, "What? I thought you guys had a special bond." Yeah, not the way
Yeah,
you
because
think
so
though.
I
Like,
remember like, yeah, I just knew that you guys had like that's how I viewed it. Like you guys were tight, you had, but it was a different thing because you guys were more close in age. And so I was like the younger one and
hmm
I could get Ellie to be like weird and like more childish with me at times, you know what I mean? And we would have fun like doing like silly kid stuff, whatever. But I always wanted to hang out with her and she lived up the street and she was my friend. But it was like, it was Stephanie, Rachel, Ellie, and yeah, and you too. But I just felt you guys always, I mean, you guys would hang out just you two without me too, and you guys, yeah, and I never
yeah.
saw you guys like upset with each other. You guys are always, having fun together. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We did. We loved to model. We took lots of
Mm-hmm.
photos.
I
like
remember.
scrapbooking, remember? Yeah, so we have some nice
Yes.
photos of that. Yeah, so I definitely, you know, had more of a relationship with Ellie. And then you would just pop in. That's what I remember. You would pop in, you know, here and there. You know, Robin was this pretty little
Oh my
like
God,
Barbie
thank
doll.
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
So nice. Am I wrong, Ellie? Right? Like this, like
Yeah.
Barbie doll looking, you know, and she was just the sweetest person. And of course, all the guys, young or old, just like
No, not
loved
true.
Robin.
I
Like it was,
have to detest to that.
yes, they did it, didn't they? They did. Especially when she blossomed. I was like, oh my God, poor Robin. Like, so I just remember thinking, oh girl, please don't be so naive. You know, I do remember that. And so I was surprised when you got with
Um,
Ivan. I till this day still don't understand that, but
mm.
that's okay. That was your
Everybody had a crush on that guy because he knew
Yeah,
how to
he
yeah,
turn
did.
on a
He had
woman.
a lot. He was
yeah,
he was
Yeah.
very charismatic and witty. Okay, this is what I have to say
yeah,
about that. So my version, you said we all have a perspective from our side, right? Okay,
yeah.
I grew up as the only white girl in the neighborhood, and I used to get a lot. You know, I had to prove myself a lot more. Like I know, you know, white people can be fucked up, right? But I didn't live with around other white people. Like I was the only white girl. I had to prove myself like so much more to be like accepted. Like I was a cool person, right? And then I had my friends. We had our friends Rachel, and then there was Stephanie, who were voluptuous. They both had like, you know, more of a body, chubby, but with body, you know. And here I am, this white girl, skinny, you know. So I always felt like Stephanie and Rachel. And then I had no game. Like I didn't know what to do with a boyfriend. Like, oh my God, right? Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, I would just be quiet. Like, I don't know what the fuck am I supposed to say to this guy? You know, I'm like 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, you know? And so I remember Stephanie and Rachel always having more game with the boys, being more developed. And I always,
Well, remember, aren't they
by one
older than you
year,
too?
by 1 year. But I remember
Oh,
my,
okay. Wow, they were much more
my
advanced than
first
you, girl.
boyfriend in the neighborhood was Ricardo. Okay. And he supposedly
I
liked me
know.
when I was really little. Okay. And, I remember Rachel and Stephanie were like, he likes you. You should be his girlfriend, be his girlfriend. I'm like, oh, okay. And I remember I was his girlfriend, but we would just sit there. They would put us together and I would just sit there and I wouldn't say nothing to him. I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? You know? And so I remember that, but
You dated Carlos too,
so
right? Or no?
Carlos, I always crushed on Carlos. I thought he was so cute and handsome, but he never liked me, unfortunately. He always liked Stephanie. He was like obsessed with Stephanie. Yeah, plus I was white
Really?
and she was Mexican. I'm telling you, that's the truth. He was like very like,
For the
yeah.
record, Elias Cuban,
And you know, I'm Mexican too. I'm
and the
mixed
world
too, but
knows. The world. What?
my
Who's
father is Mexican
Mexican?
American.
Oh, I thought you said
Oh
you.
no,
I'm
you're
like, what?
Puerto
You're
Rican.
no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and half, and I'm white too. My mom's white, but I don't
Yeah,
identify as white,
right.
girl.
Just, yeah, yeah.
I have Puerto Rican family members. Okay, my mom had one sister. Okay, I didn't really have white
Yeah,
family members. So,
yeah, but
anyways,
yeah, Carlos loved
um,
Stephanie, and so and then we had okay, so Ivan, yeah, it's so crazy. So Ivan dated Stephanie, but these were childhood romances. This is like before people are like sleeping with each other. He
He
dated
also dated
Rachel,
Rachel.
and
oh
and
my God.
I
Now,
always thought he was. You know, I always thought Ivan was not attractive to me. Like I would always tell them, like, why do you like him? Like, what is it? Like,
Hmm.
and I never. There was never nothing. It was not even a consideration in my mind. And I knew him since I was 10, and then I hit.
And then he walked up to you and
Well,
said, "How you
well,
doing?"
I ended up turning like 15 years old. You know, I'm now in high school, and all of a sudden he just keeps flocking around my dad's house all the time looking for me, all the time, all the time. That's how I remember it. I just remember, um, yeah, I remember we would all hang out, you know, and then at the time he was dating Caesar's sister Jasmine, you know, but they were like at the end of that. It's so crazy. Oh my
I
God,
don't
he
remember
dated
that.
everybody.
I
He
do. I
dated
vaguely remember that.
everybody.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
did
he
not
dated
remember
Jasmine.
that.
But to me, I was younger and I didn't realize. I know.
That's
And when I think
weird.
back, it's like, why would I have dated somebody that dated all the girls in the neighborhood? Even though it wasn't like them sleeping together, it was just kissing, which is, I mean, God, if you think about all the people that sleep around in today's world, okay, this is not that bad. You know, people do a lot of worse shit. But at the time, you know, even just that, thinking like, okay, no, stop dating the neighborhood boys. That's obviously been around the block. Like, my mind today is like so much higher thinking, but at the time, we were all friends, and he was at the end of the relationship with Jasmine. And then he started to flirt with me, and we would hang out, all of us hanging out with the guys. And I loved hanging out with the guys. It was fun. We played video games. We listened to pop.
Yeah, they were probably nicer than
yes,
most
actually,
to
they
you.
were.
Ellie and
Ellie
I
were
were
nice
not
to me, but
involved in that.
Rachel was my best friend. I love
No.
her, and Stephanie was my friend. But sometimes I felt like there would just be weird little games sometimes, and yeah, I ended up just always hanging out with Caesar and Ivan at Andy's house, and it was just fun. We'd all be outside all day long, and so. And me and Ivan ended up, kissing one day, and then we, and he'd always come around, and then we ended up becoming boyfriend and girlfriend. I was with him for like 7 years, yeah, I
Wow,
know.
that's the crazy part.
But
I know.
yeah, I know. I fell in love with him, and he was my best friend, and I'm a very loyal person to a fault sometimes, and even like, towards the end, even though we were breaking up or whatever, he ended up cheating on me, and so I was like, oh, peace, that's it. And yeah, anyway.
Well, Ellie dated someone older.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And that introduced all of us to a different lifestyle.
The older kids.
Right.
The older kids in the neighborhood.
Yes, right? Because, he was the bachelor on the block, had a beautiful big house, would have parties and entertain. That was fun and interesting. Oh my God, can I tell you guys? And I'm sure you don't know this. Okay,
yes.
So remember Renee?
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Wait, which Renee? Juan?
Oh, yes, Juan Renee. His
yes,
or
the other
two houses down.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So we all know he
Renee,
was so
right?
hot.
You're talking about
right?
Renee, right?
So good looking. Right?
Oh yeah, girl.
Yes. Okay. And I think you guys remember I did have a crush on him.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I ever told you this. Ellie may know, but I know Robin doesn't know this story.
Oh.
So Ellie and I being best friends, of course, Hugo would, try to like, get me to date one of his friends. And I'm like, that's just not me. Like my dad kicked my ass. Like, you don't even like, no, like, what Caesar had to go through to date me. Like I was not even entertaining dating an older man. Okay. So, but anyways, so Renee found out that I had a crush, and he was like, what? Like, this is later in life. Okay. So we stayed in touch with Hugo, and we were friends. And so, I don't remember how it came about, but I was already in my single, living across the street from Valley College. And oh my God, you guys, men would just show up at my damn door.
You knew all the hot guys. You knew all. You did.
Oh, I did.
You did.
I parties, and I love that. Yes. I was a very social butterfly, but just with socializing for the record. Okay. I worked 2 jobs. I went to school. I did not stick around. Anyways.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
Hell no.
Neither was Ellie, neither was I.
Yes. None for sure. But I was very social. Yes, I had lots of parties. And so anyways, I don't remember. I think we were at Hugo's house way after, like we're adults now, right? And so, let me take that back. I was only 19 when I lived there.
Well,
but that's still, I'm like, I'm 19.
The moment that we knew,
Yes, because I was working 2 jobs. I was going to school. I was living on my own. I was supporting myself. I was a full adult. Okay. So, yes. So you guys, he showed up at my door. Yes. And I don't even remember how Renee even like figured out where I don't know if Hugo told him. I don't know how the man figured out.
God.
And I was like, I did not open the door. I was like, that's weird. Like, why are you like, I did not open the door. Okay. And for some reason, sometimes I would see him in the morning, like on my commute. And so one time I did answer, I must have, or I don't remember. Oh my God, it wasn't that long ago, but I really did not go on a date. Trust me. Okay. But he somehow ended up at my door. Maybe we went for coffee. I don't remember. I really don't. But it's so funny now that like I was 19 and, like he tried to pursue me. I was like, yeah, it's just not there. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel it. You know, I just had that crush as
Mm-hmm.
a kid, right? And I think just getting that validation of like, oh, I can get what I want. Like, and then once it presented, I was like, yeah, no, thank
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean? So it was so funny. So he came and I remember he hugged me, tried to kiss me, and I just felt so weirded out by this. And so, I mean, I had to like, no, 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 like, you know, and so he really did try to like, he came to my door again, tried to call me. It was just the weirdest. It was so funny. And then,
Didn't
uh,
didn't we think at one point that he was gay? Wasn't that like a
yes,
running joke
Oh
or
my
something? And we
God, I
weren't
don't
yes.
sure if
remember
it was
So then I
true.
was
that.
like, Ellie, he's not gay.
Exactly. No,
He's
he
coming
is
to
not.
your house. Yes. Okay. So, oh my God. So, I mean, he was hot
Yeah.
looking, really nice, but nothing behind there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember you guys. So please don't forget. Please don't, you know. But I remember one time, I was actually in the car with my husband, but he wasn't my husband at the time. We were driving down Oxnard and I saw him and I was like, oh, and he saw me and he saw me with, you know, with Rick and he's like, what? Like, what? It was just funny, you guys. But I don't know if if
No, I
Robin ever
never
knew
heard that
that, but
story. I didn't
it was just
know.
so funny that I crushed on him all those years. And then all of a sudden he comes and he's like, what's up? And I was like, yeah, no, thank you.
Well,
I couldn't
well,
do it.
you
It was so
understood at that
weird.
point. It's like that's a more serious, you're older now. Like that's, going, taking different steps. It's different when you're like a younger girl and you have a crush on a dude and it's like a flirtatious thing.
Yeah, but I promise you, I didn't think of it then, but I had to know that
Yeah.
that was creepy because I'm like, I'm 19. Like, how
Yeah.
old are you? Like, and you think that like I'm gonna be naive and like this, like, oh, I don't know. But I was just like, yeah, no, that you're creepy. That's creepy. Goodbye. You're like, no, it was,
Mm-hmm.
but and I feel bad. Please, I hope he never hears this. Hugo better not share this with him.
Do you
I,
guys still talk to him?
I'm on Facebook, and he
Yeah.
does like and I do post some of these clips.
oh,
So I'm like, Hugo
Hugo.
better not because I don't want to
Yeah.
offend him. And that's what I remember. Okay, that is my truth and that is what I remember. But I thought that was hilarious.
Hey.
But anyways, Ellie Ellie dating older men introduced us to it. Like we went on bike
Yeah.
rides and dinners and it was nice. It was fun. They were always Hugo and Carlos, right? Carlos wasn't his name. Wasn't his other friend Carlos? Was it Carlos's
Do
name?
you remember Jaime?
Jaime.
Wasn't that we
Was that
weren't sure if that was Hugo's
Jaime. Yeah,
husband
he
or
was
not?
really cool, right? Really nice.
was that his name
Yeah,
too?
that does sound so.
Maybe
Jaime, I
that's
think
right.
that was his name, and that's
Maybe that
And
was
he had like an accent and he was like always trying to be really funny and
yes.
yeah.
we weren't sure if they were related or not because they would
Oh
never come
my
clean about
god,
it.
what was Hugo's
Yeah.
killer dog, like ex-cop dog, German Shepherd's name? What was his name? Oh, come
Ooh.
on, Cody.
Oh,
Cody.
it'll come to me later.
I think it was
Was
Cody.
it Cody? Sounds right.
Um,
That sounds right. Yeah.
and
I
Ivan
don't
was the
remember.
only person who could pet him besides like Hugo, and
Remember he bit like
fucking dog was
Rachel's face?
scary as shit, man.
Oh
The
my
dog was like
God.
vicious. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
god, Cujo behind those bars for real. Do you remember in Hugo's little room, he had that really dope saltwater fish tank with all the really, really, really expensive
Vaguely, yeah.
fish in there. I remember,
Vaguely. This girl dated him for how many years? Yeah,
I remember
vaguely.
that was really
Yeah.
cool.
Do you remember like we would go to his house to watch movies because he had a laserdisc
Yes!
player? Remember
Yes,
that?
yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
he had
I
a cool
did.
house. Like he had the fire pit or would do a fire pit in the
Yeah.
back. He had that big room where with the like you said, the
Mm-hmm.
projector or whatever. But yeah, it was nice. So imagine a grown ass man hanging out with teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. It
But
was
I loved it.
fun.
Like, I mean, it was cool. You guys, you know that, and I don't know if you remember, but for my homecoming, him and his girl best friend, was it Jennifer? What was her name? Remember that best friend he had, that girl?
Grace?
Oh,
Was it Grace? Girl, I
was
don't know.
she like
I
Well,
don't
he
partly
know.
had a best
Asian or
friend, and it
something? Grace? No, she had dark hair.
maybe, and she was short. They're both short, but yes, I mean, she was taller
I
than
don't
me.
Okay.
remember.
But anyways, I remember if I don't know if Ellie, but the two of them, because I don't know, maybe Ellie was there, but they took me for dress shopping, and they bought my homecoming
Oh, that's
dress.
so
I
Oh,
think,
sweet.
nice.
or they took me to buy it because I did
Mm-hmm.
work, but I don't know, I don't remember. But they took me, and it was funny because Hugo guessed my right dress
That's
size. It
cute.
was so funny. I was like, "How the hell do you know that, you little damn womanizer?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hugo was smooth,
So do you know
man.
what's
He
funny
was.
is oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I know. That's yeah, I know. So it was a nice black dress, and I wore it to
Mm-hmm.
homecoming, and I actually ended up in the school
Oh
newspaper.
my God, that's cool.
Really?
It was me, Zola, and Brian. One of
Hmm.
the Bryans ended up in the newspaper. That so I have that little
That's
clip in
so
that dress. It's so
cute.
cute. So
Good
thank you,
job,
Hugo.
Hugo. Proud of you, man. That was a very nice thing to
Yes,
do.
it was cute.
Yeah.
But it was to talk about that, like it was really nice to grow up like
Yes.
that, right? Because like Robin said, we're all on the streets hanging out, not doing anything bad, obviously, but just hanging out. But we had this little
Yes. No
community,
cell phones, no
that
Instagram, no
yeah,
MySpace,
yeah,
not even pay. That came
no.
later
Pagers.
though. I had a
No,
pager
I
when I
had a
was like
pager.
Yes,
14.
yes,
Yeah.
we
But
do. Yeah.
before that, no, that was like so new. Remember, it was the portable phones.
Mhm.
Okay, Stephanie's dad, Sergio Maria, and then little Sergio Jr., right? You guys remember. So Sergio, her
Yeah.
dad,
Yeah.
had one of those portable phones, but it was like the ones they show in the movies, those big ones. That's yeah, we lived through all of those changes. And so there was no social media. Everybody had to talk to each other face to face, you know?
Okay, so I
Yep.
want to get a little deep on this. Okay, so I'm curious, Ellie, you have not talked much,
Yes, Ellie.
but I do want
I'm
to
the
know.
quiet one.
Yeah, yeah, she is. She's like a little snake. She slithers and then
Ah!
she attacks. I'm just kidding. Well, you hear her sarcasm. No, I'm joking. So considering that you're just a little older than us, but you were so much more emotionally, I think, older than we were, like for your age too. Like I do feel you were just so much more responsible and not like in life. I'm just saying like with like your emotions, like your emotional intelligence was definitely
Yes, I
past
would say so
ours. You know
too.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Maybe that's why we all
right?
clung to you so
I
much.
know. Yes, it was a little like old, not motherly, but maybe older sister-ish type of, you know what I mean? So, um, what I'm curious about is, how you viewed us then and now, like, is there even a thought of that? Like for me, like Robin was the, like I said, the pretty, like I really thought she would do like modeling or like, something. I think what she does now, like she
Thank you,
does,
darling.
I'm not surprised, Robin, that you homeschool your kids and you're very clean. And like, I'm not
Oh, thank
surprised by
you.
that, right? Ellie, like always, like an accountant, like that just, and I don't know if you still do that, but I mean, cause she sat me down like, look, girl, this is what you bring home from work, from your check. This is what you got to pay. This
Yeah.
is what you got to do. She literally sat down and wrote
Really?
down, yes. Oh my God. Like one time, like she let me borrow money and she's like, I'm not
Ah,
going to keep doing this. Right. And I'm like, and she's all like, you got to like figure your shit out. Like you make more money than me anyways, or whatever. Cause I was working at Kaiser, I was
yeah.
working at In-N-Out, like, and she's like, this is ridiculous. And she literally sat me down and said, yes, she sat me down and said, look, this is what you get. This is what you bring home, and this is what you got to pay. This is what you got. I mean, she literally like this is the relationship we had. That's why I'm like I was more
Mm-hmm.
annoying to her because it was more of me taking from her than her getting out of
Mm-hmm.
the friendship. You know what I mean? And I remember one time we actually had a conversation, and I had asked her something and we had a raw, and I don't know if you remember, but it's when you bought your house in Lake Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And we went down there, it was a cute little town and we had lunch and we actually had a deep first time ever conversation. And you're like, wow, I never saw it that way. And so Ellie really felt like our friendship was
Mm.
one-sided.
Did I? I said that?
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay.
So, and it was always me calling when I needed something, wanted something, and because she
Oh, I
was
see
my
what you're
go-to, she was my
saying.
crutch for so
Mm.
many years, right? And so I'm sure she didn't get anything out of it, right? But when I sat down and expressed to her what she was to me and what
Mm-hmm.
she did for me, she was like, "Oh
Did
fuck!"
I
Now you,
cry?
yeah, she's like,
Did
"Oh
I
fuck!"
cry?
Now you got no, you didn't cry, but you really did was like you did have an emotional reaction because Ellie does not show emotion. So she did I made you feel bad, but it wasn't my intention. But you were like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And so it wasn't that I was using her, only call her
Mm-hmm.
when I needed her. It's just that she was that security
Mm-hmm.
blanket for me. And I had learned so much from her,
That's
whether
a
she
big
learned that or
compliment
not.
to give to
And
her. That
so
means that she was a really
yeah,
quality
yeah.
of a person for a friend,
Oh,
you
she
know?
was. And then it was funny because then when I started drifting, it was because I was able to spread those wings. And then she's like, well, you
Uh-huh.
don't call me, I don't need you. What? Because you don't need me. And I'm like, no, what do you mean? Like, I'm trying to be an adult. I'm trying to figure this shit out on my own. I'm trying to do this. It
Yeah.
was so funny. So, um, I remember us having that conversation, and clearly she doesn't remember this, but that's okay. So, did you know what I did learn about memories is that they're tied
Yes.
to an emotion. So in order to remember something, whether it's fear, happy, whatever, it has to be tied to an emotion. So if you don't have a memory, it's because you were not emotionally there for me. Like, I had an emotional reaction to you, so I
I
remember
remember
everything.
like as we became adults, and yeah, and then kids were being born because you guys had kids before me, I remember you would have your gatherings, Dawn, and you would always invite us. And I remember I would see Ellie there. And then that was like so special for me because I got to see you guys for those things, And then seeing Ellie with her first daughter, like at your apartment off of Sepulveda or Devonshire or something, somewhere over there, yeah, I remember like stuff like that, North Hills. Okay,
North
yeah.
Hills.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that was always fun.
So Ellie, you gotta talk. So
do you remember Javier, Ellie?
You gotta tell me more.
Javier
Give me
with
some
the
more
white
information.
car. He was Marisol's cousin. He was Alex's like nephew. Oh my God, you guys don't remember Javier? Girls.
No.
Okay, let me refresh your memory. Javier was Marisol's cousin. He was a guy, and he was so fine. You don't remember Ellie? He
Like
was
Ricky
fine.
Martin
Where we
fine?
would like, he would come, he'd be like, hi. We'd be like, hi, Javier, and he would drive. He bought this like cool, like white car, and he would drive by and we'd be like, damn, Javier is so fine. You guys don't remember him? Oh my God. He was Marisol's cousin. That's funny. Okay. I'm sorry, Ellie. I just wanted to ask you that because it was on my brain. You have the floor, girl. Go ahead.
I feel like we weren't really friends. I feel like we were more like sisters. All of us.
Yes. Agreed. Like I said, I was a sister.
Sorry, guys. You couldn't say
it did. Like I said, it did. It felt like a community, like a family, definitely. So what else are you gonna say?
That's it. I feel like the memories I have are from the pictures that I took.
Interesting. So do you remember you were writing a book, and I know you're not gonna remember this, but when you were like, I'm writing a book, and you wouldn't let me read it or see it, and but you told me it was about, I guess, that time in your life, right? Like you were writing. Yeah. And so I said, ooh, so like, am I in the book? You're like, no. I was like, how am I not in the book, right? And you're like, no. Like, and you were so like, no, girl, you're not. Like I was crazy for asking that. And I was like, wow. And so that was a moment I didn't say, but that was a moment like, wow, like I feel like she's such a big part of my life, and I'm not in her book. Like, what the
I
fuck?
could totally.
This is the dynamic, guys. Yes. And I was. So, by the way, where's this book? Did you ever finish it?
No, and by book, it's more like maybe
journaling,
2 chapters.
Oh, okay.
It's on my old word processor and on old floppy disks somewhere.
And I'm nowhere in there, huh? Those 2 chapters, huh?
That's what I remember. It was more about a book about love and relationships.
Yeah, but
learning things the hard way.
Yeah.
No, as far as like romantic love.
Okay, fine. Look, this is just to tell you, and I didn't know this, that Ellie did this, but this just to give you guys more of context of our friendship. She would say things like, well, Robin has better legs than you, just to round my ass up. I don't remember that, you guys.
I exactly,
but I'm like, what? And so she's
part of Ellie's house, everything.
Oh my God.
I think it's because Dawn was so easy to rile up. It was so easy to press her buttons. And we just love to get her started.
I know. That's how I grew up. That my family did it. My friends did it. They always want to push that button and get me. But I have grown from that.
Do you remember the Tasmanian Devil?
That was your character.
Yes, and that was like me.
Rachel's character was Tweety.
Do you remember when we were running down the streets with the Tasmanian?
Do you remember where it came from?
The pager mobile.
Yeah.
business. So were they Armenian?
Probably.
2 Armenian men, I think, owned this little store that had pagers and cell phones, right?
Aren't those the same guys that you invited to your party and they came up and like shot up the place?
What? Yeah. I don't know about any of this. Yes. So for my 16th birthday, now, guys, remember I said I grew up in North Hollywood. So on Elmer Street, I lived on Elmer and Burbank. And so
Dawn lived on the rougher neighborhood.
Yeah, thanks for that. But yes, I did. So, well, actually, fun fact, when we first moved here to California from New Jersey, we moved to Cartwright, believe it or not, but the Oxnard side. Cahuenga, right? Like right by yeah, it was
Whitnall?
Cahuenga, Oxnard and Cahuenga, Oxnard and Cahuenga.
Okay, next to Whitnall Highway in that area?
The
Yeah,
other
that's
end. Oh
the
no, that's not. Wasn't that Victory? Not the Vallarta side, the other side, of Cartwright. Wasn't that Oxnard and
Coenga. Yeah, that's like where
Cahuenga?
Whitnall hits. Whitnall goes between Coenga and Oxnard, and then Oxnard links up to Coenga.
Sorry, Burbank. Sorry, Burbank and Cahuenga.
Yeah.
Sorry, Burbank and Cahuenga. So Cartwright. Yeah, so I lived in Cartwright where that railroad track was. Like, does that make like?
Oh, more towards Magnolia then.
There was a liquor
But it
store
was
on your
on
corner,
Burbank
right?
though. But it
There was a
was
liquor store on the corner on
Oh,
one of the apartments you lived
no.
in at one point. No, oh, okay, that's something
Uh-uh.
else then.
No, it was my grandmother's house. It was definitely
Are you
Cartwright. I
talking
swear
about
it's
it in
Burbank.
our neighborhood
Because
right there? Oh yeah, Cartwright.
yeah,
Yes, yes,
just
Cartwright
down
and
more,
Burbank.
just a
Yes,
little down
I'm
more,
sorry, I didn't know
right?
what
Like,
you're talking about. Yeah, Cartwright and Burbank. That was your street. Because I used to always hang. Yeah.
yeah, where I used to live with my cousin Ellie. Remember where I lived with my cousin? Wasn't that Oxnard and Cahuenga? Do you remember my cousin Jackie? Those white Jehovah Witnesses building. Do you remember that?
ooh, I vaguely
I
remember
remember
Jackie.
Jackie. She had dark hair, right?
Okay, well, anyway,
That
Bless
so
her.
was, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
she had dark hair, yeah. So anyway, sorry, I'm getting off. So we moved to North Hollywood, right? So then we lived there for a little bit. My mom felt an earthquake and we freaking left back to New Jersey. Oh my God. So then we came back again in
I don't remember
1991
none of that.
and we rented one of those, the Ritz Motel, because it was like it had like a bedroom, like it was for short-term living or whatever, right? Like you had a refrigerator, whatever. So we end up moving to Burbank and Fulcher. That's the 7-Eleven. That's where we and we had the nice big house. We lived there first. And then we ended up on Tierra Street. Oh my God. Now that, you guys, was rough. And that's where the police station was. And even though the police station was on that street, the North Hollywood boys were, I would see riots. I would see like people getting rushed in and rushed out of freaking gangs.
Yeah, because that was when some Valley Boys were hot too.
but
Some Valley Boys, and then North
oh my
Hollywood Boys,
God,
they
you
would feud
guys,
with each other.
let
I
me
remember
tell you,
that.
and then yes, and so I could look out my apartment and see the damn hangout of the North Hollywood boys, okay? But as big as that gang was, and scary as they were, everyone knew my dad, Coño, and no one messed with us, right? So it's scary as it was, okay? Anyway, so you want to talk about that was bad. Sarah and, Oxnard and Lancashire, like, oh my God. So then we moved to Burbank and Elmer. Believe it or not, that was an upgrade. It was still not, it was still ghetto compared to where they lived, So yes, so imagine, yeah, and I lived on the street there. North Hollywood boys lived there too. So I had a Sweet 16 party, and I did invite those Armenian guys that owned the shop because we were so friendly with them. They had the Tasmanian devil. They gave it to me, and Ellie and I were running down the street with this. It was bigger than us, and it was on my shoulder. It was hilarious. I have that picture. I have the picture somewhere. I was wearing gray sweats and this gray and blue top, and I have the Tasmanian devil on my shoulders. I invited them to my party. My dad roasted a pig, like the whole pig. He made arroz con gandules, all this Puerto Rican food. I had friends. I had North Hollywood boys there. Oh my God, we had all kinds of people there. And then the Armenian guys come. And I don't remember the riff or what happened, but they come and oh my God, they do drive up the street and then they start shooting. They start shooting in the sky, and then oh my God, and then those chola fucking bitches were like, you fucking stupid bitch, you invite these people here. I'm 16 and this bitch, I'm like, fuck you stupid. Oh, excuse me. I shouldn't be. Yeah. So we get into it. And I'm like, this woman, who's she like? So then I'm cursing back at her because she's like, you bring these people
and Dawn
here.
Don't take
oh my
no
God,
shit
yeah.
from nobody.
So yeah,
Dawn always spoke her mind. She was always. I will say that, not to cut you off, but you have always been a very confident person and believed in yourself and didn't allow anyone to ever make you feel no kind of way. That was my perception of you. So that makes sense that you'd be like, excuse me, this is my fucking birthday. How dare you say anything to me? Do you know what today is? Like, where's my gift?
That's right, girl. You know how to go about my birthday.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's crazy.
That was funny. Yeah. So then I'm sure you guys are not surprised that
Not
I'm a life
surprised, because
coach,
we've
right?
always been telling you that you give the
Nope.
best advice to everybody and you're always wanting to help.
Oh, Ellie did not tell me no. Ellie never told me nice things. But that's okay. That was Ellie, challenging me, and I needed that. I needed someone to challenge
There
me.
I
you
was there to make
go.
you
That's
stronger.
true.
She did. No,
Yeah.
she definitely challenged me. She definitely educated me, and yes,
We left
yeah,
out
I
two
will say
people
that.
from the neighborhood. I just want to throw them in there so we don't leave them out. Walter and Lewis. Yeah, rest in peace,
Yeah.
Walter. Rest in
Oh,
peace. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Lewis. Yeah.
yes.
Oh, you're muted, Don. I can't hear you. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to.
I asked my son for my charger.
Edit that part out. Edit that part
Out you.
I didn't want
out.
to yell, so one sec. You guys
Yes.
can talk. Yes,
Yes.
Walter and
But
Lewis.
Daisy.
Daisy.
Daisy! Oh my God, that's right. Daisy, their sister. She was always nice to me. And then,
Yeah.
oh, can't forget Yahira, Ivan's sister. Remember Yahira? There
Oh
was
yeah, I
her.
vaguely
She was
remember
friends with
her. Yeah.
Jasmine. Then Adrian, he was there too. Hey, I'm gonna mute too. Everyone else muted, and I feel like left out. Hold on, it's my turn. I'm
Oh,
just
well,
kidding.
because my
I
kids are now
know. Well,
coming
me
in to
seeing
bug
my
you too.
daughters come in a few times already too. Yeah, but yeah, it was really fun growing up with everybody in the neighborhood. Has such good memories of all of it for the most part.
Do you remember Ivan's
Video
family's
91.
business?
Yes, that's the whole purpose of why
Yeah.
Ivan would be. I was going to say that too. Yeah, that's the whole purpose of why he was in the neighborhood to begin with, because his mom worked there. Video 91.
But I want what is that funny story that you want to share? Because I wanted to ask you, what memory do we have that still cracks you
Ellie,
up?
do you have
I
one?
remember Robin, you and I once were playing around with like a little disposable camera with a flash at night and blinding each other. Remember?
No,
You
I
remember the pictures that
don't.
came out of that?
Oh my God. I do not remember. I mean, I believe that, but I don't. Do you have those photos? Oh my God, you're going to have
Yes,
to
I
show
do.
me those. That's hilarious. I have one, Ellie. Let's see if you remember this one. So Ellie had this cute pair of blue jeans. And this was during the 90s where we would wear baggy jeans with like a belt and a little crop top or something, you know? And so, but Ellie,
Oh yes. The
yes,
Gwen
but
Stefani
Ellie
look,
was
right?
old.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to get into the geo tracker too. Hold on, we're gonna save that for after. Okay, so Ellie was taller than me, and so I borrowed some pants from her, and I really liked them a lot, but they were too long, so I folded them under. But I would wear it like I didn't give them back to her for a while. I kept wearing them. And so I remember when I finally did give them back to her, she went to unfold them because she wanted to wear them so they're her length, and it was like a perfectly bleached line where I had been folding the jeans. Like, I just remember like she was
Oh
really
my
disappointed,
God.
but I don't know why it's so funny to
Oh.
me. Hold
Oh.
on. I think my kid's crying. I'm gonna mute. It's my turn. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Trying to think if I have one. I felt like I did and then it went away. I'm going through, perimenopause.
Oh, already?
I feel it. They say you can go like it can happen 8 to 10 years before you go into menopause.
Yeah.
So I feel like I lose my thought a lot, and that is one of the symptoms. And I'm like, wait, what was I saying?
I remember once spending the night at your house,
Oh my God, really?
and it was so hot. We
Hot.
were
Yes.
sleeping. We got on the top of the couch and we were sleeping right where the window was open because it was so hot in your house.
Wow, Ellie, I don't remember that. I remember I always slept at your house, of course, because you had your own room.
Did you? I don't remember that.
Yeah, oh yeah, I did, yes. Well, it's funny to me, but so Ellie is Cuban, and I always say that, Cubans are my cousins because, Puerto Ricans and Cubans are very similar, right? But they're different. So her mom is full on Cuban and would make Cuban food almost every night. And the house would smell so damn good. And Ellie never invited me to eat dinner at her house.
We're not a social people.
But I was in
My
her
family.
house. I was in her house. I'm telling you, I practically lived there, you guys, okay? And the mom would cook, but And now I don't blame Ellie because guess what? Ellie would not even eat the damn food.
All the time.
Ellie
Oh
would
yes,
eat
and she would
Taco
only eat half
Bell.
of it. She wouldn't even eat the whole thing. She would eat half a taco or burrito, and then she'd wrap it up. And I'd be like,
Yes,
"Why don't you eat the whole
yes.
thing?" And she'd
Oh
be like,
my
"No."
gosh. And then she taught me to put like the chocolate powder in my cereal. We would
Oh
put
my
cookies
God,
in her
Ellie.
cereal. And I'm like, and in I never said it, but I was like, ew, like how do you eat that?
Right,
And not your mom's Cuban food, you know? And her mom she would
right.
get mad, but she wouldn't make Ellie eat it. You know what I mean? And so, oh, my house, we were not allowed to waste food. He'll shove it down your throat. You had to eat it, you know? So this is why, like I said, when I think of Robin, I'm like, oh, hippie free, you know, Ellie, it was a different kind of like free. Like I said, her mom wasn't very strict.
She'd be
Like
like,
I swear to God, Ellie was like an adult. Like she lived her life like she was the adult. Like she was in charge of her life. You know what I mean? Like she was not governed by a mother. Do you know what I mean? Or her older sister
yeah.
that drove her crazy. Yes. So it was so funny. Like I always saw her as an adult, even at that age, you know? So she did what she wanted. Like it was funny. That was my impression of Ellie. Like I'm gonna do what I want because I can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I thought that was funny. But
Me
she
either.
never invited me to eat. I never ate over. And then it was so funny.
It's okay.
Well,
I
yeah, but I lived
apologize
in her
now.
house.
Better
Yeah,
late than never. I'm sorry.
It never
but by the way,
bothered
do
me,
you even
though.
cook?
Oh, lucky
My husband's a cook.
woman.
You still don't cook?
Still?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. Okay. So, but Robin, it was funny. So I must have been like 24, maybe 22. I don't know. I finally had
Oh
dinner
my
at
God.
Ellie's house when
Winnetka.
they lived in
I went over there and ate dinner
Hills,
too
right?
after that. Yeah,
Oh,
I got
Winnetka.
invited
Sorry.
too.
Oh,
Well, no,
okay.
you
So I'm not
probably got to
special.
do it
Okay.
first, though, Dawn,
Fine.
you know.
No, it's okay. I don't. But and I know she made pork chops. That's what I remember. I did, but it was so
Yeah.
funny. So I finally had dinner at her house, and we're eating, and of course, you know, I'm a talker, and we're talking, and they're laughing, and so I remember not in front of her parents,
Steve.
her stepdad.
I
Steve. Are they
remember
still together, by the way?
him.
Yes.
Oh my
They're
God,
so cute.
yes.
Yes, right.
Yes.
So, such a nice guy. Yes. So I remember Ellie says, "Oh, I see why I never had you over for dinner," and I was like, "What the hell? Why?" And she's all like, I don't. Well, I'm paraphrasing here, not my words, not hers, but she did say that part. But and I'm like, what? Why? You know, because I'm over here working 2 jobs, going to college, living on my own. You know, and her mom was like, wow, wow, looking at Ellie like,
Oh, you made me look bad?
yeah, like why are you
Don't
still
you see,
sitting here?
Steve?
Like, why are you still in my house, right? I'm assuming. So yeah, so she's all like, you made me look bad. I'm like, what the frick? How did I make
That's
you
so
look bad?
funny.
Like, this is my truth. You know, it was so funny. I was like, yeah, but when I didn't work 2 jobs and didn't go to school, what was your excuse to not have me eat then? It was so funny. But this girl would eat Taco Bell instead of her mom home cooked meal. I was like, oh my God.
Do you guys remember that my mom would like whistle when it was time to come
I don't
home?
remember that. I just remember her going, Ellie, Ellie. She always had a deep, in a deeper
Like a
voice.
ghost?
She'd be like, Ellie, you know.
Yeah.
She used to whistle for you to come home. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Well, girls, I just want to thank you for taking time out of your day because we are all mothers and wives and have busy lives. And we don't take as much time as we should to bond, but you guys do have and will always have a special place in my heart. And I just wanted to share with the world 2 of my greatest friends, like 2 good friends that I have and that I value.
Thank you.
And just to give more insight to Dawn and the layers that I have, you know. So hopefully they will enjoy this. But, you know, the breakaway tip would be to not let time pass to connect with people that you love and care about, right? So we all do it, we all allow it, but you have to, you know, give time and effort and feed those relationships.
Most
and
definitely.
Don't take them for granted.
And we are very fortunate because, you know, we grew up in a very different time that we will never, ever relive ever again. And, you know, it's very special when you get to have people that you've known. I mean, I've known you guys since I was like 8 years old, you know, and especially women, you know, and to still be friends and to see how we've evolved from being these girls into teenagers, into young women, and now into mothers. And, in a world that's really different and crazy. It's, so I'm very thankful and fortunate to have both of you as my friends too. And we need to get together more often because I need that time.
Yes,
I
and
know.
I look forward to us
Oh my
hanging
God,
out when we're in our
yes.
50s and 60s and
Yes.
70s.
Right?
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my
I
God,
know. It's
yes.
gonna be
I know. We
comical.
gotta take
Yes.
pictures.
But too, how many people can say that
Mm-hmm.
they have friendships like this? So that does say a
Yes.
lot about us too. So I appreciate that. So I hope people enjoyed a trip down our memory
God,
lane and keep pushing, keep shooting, and keep thriving.
Thank you.